Hi everyone, it's Andrew Mears here from Lead Candidate, and I'm very pleased to say that we are joined today by Darrin Schellin, Chief Executive Officer at GBI Bio. Darrin, thank you for giving up some of your time this morning to talk to us.
Thank you, Andrew. It's a pleasure. It's all mine. I do appreciate the opportunity to always catch up and chat with colleagues in the industry. So, yes, Darrin Schellin, CEO of GBI, formerly known as Goodwin Biotechnology, Inc. My career journey, to kind of give you a little bit of background before taking on this adventure here in Southern Florida. I've been in the CDMO industry for too many years to admit, but about 25 years now. So it's been an exciting ride. Most of my background was in really drug product operations, both small and large molecules. So this has been a fun opportunity for me, getting more exposure to large molecule drug substances here at GBI. But it's been a great opportunity for me to really work with a variety of clients, everything from a couple of guys with a great idea and some backing and funding to some of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies. So it's been very rewarding, and I've enjoyed my time in the industry.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you for that, Darrin. So to tell us, you mentioned there Goodwin Biotechnology, the transition to GBI. What attracted you to this project? And you've been there sort of 16, 17 months now. What was it that really kind of got your juices going?
Well, it was interesting. I certainly knew of the opportunity, and I had heard of it kind of in the summer of 2021. And originally, I'm a supply chain guy. I came up through operations and supply chain. My technical background in the pharma space is drug product. And originally I said to the guys, I said, I think you need more of a drug substance guy. It's not a fit for me. So I kind of spent some time doing some consulting and other things. And long story short, we circled back around and had some really interesting conversations about the vision and the strategy that both our chairman of the board, Carl Pinto, and our significant minority investor, Signet Healthcare Partners, had for the organization. Having done some carve-outs, startup type activities in my lifetime, having been part of a management team that carved a business out of Bausch & Lomb, certainly it was something that I had done in the past, and I do enjoy that, and I like putting together teams and developing a vision and kind of charting a course for the operation. When I looked at this one, Andrew, there was some interesting, what I like to call bones. I speak with my wife when we look at a house, and it's, does it have good bones? It's not necessarily what the wall or the paint looks like. It's, do we have good bones or good foundation? And the company's got 30 years of great scientific history, largely focused in the preclinical and early stage clinical operations. And they really wanted somebody to come in and help lead the organization to that late stage clinical and commercial manufacturing, which is, I'm sure is a bit of a different approach from a mindset point.
Yeah, absolutely. And was it that transition process that kind of, when you started getting into it, and the fact that it had those such good foundations that really kind of sort of got you over the line?
Well, there's a variety of factors. I am a business guy, I guess, at the heart of it. So I also see that we play in a good industry. We're seeing continued strong double-digit growth year over year, both in the CDMO sector, but the biotech industry at large. And as I'm sure we're predominantly a monoclonal antibody manufacturer, recombinant proteins, with some unique capabilities in bioconjugation, which is really our niche for us down here at GBI. So there were certainly other, what I'll call economic factors that I see with some, what I would call tailwinds in the industry that were also attractive.
Yeah, brilliant. Got it. So you've been there 16 months, you've got to meet some of the people now and really start to get the feel of the place. So tell us a little bit about what your first 12 months. How would you sort of characterize what you found when you walked through the door and what you find today?
Well, what we found when we came to GBI is you had some great scientists that have some visions of how they would like to see the business in the future, but not necessarily an understanding of the steps that you need to take to realize that. Having a vision is certainly important. If you don't have goals, you don't have visions of what you want to see in the future, you're not going to develop any kind of an organization, or yourself for that matter. So I saw that and was very pleased. But they definitely, and I knew some of this before I got here, but as you got in and you dug in, there was really a lack of an understanding of the types of business systems, the type of understanding that people need from an experience standpoint, the infrastructure and the equipment side. I affectionately call them our toys. Those different aspects of the business. And I kind of break it down, Andrew, into really 4 verticals. You've got people, logically most important to us, and oftentimes the most difficult to address, which is why we're working with you. Secondarily, you have business processes. You can't just throw bodies at it. We're trying to grow the organization in a bit of a hyper growth manner. So you can't just throw people at it. That's too costly, and quite honestly, just from an efficiency standpoint. The third one then is the toys, the equipment. And so we've got those 3 key verticals. And then, I mentioned earlier, we were formerly known as Goodwin Biotechnology. We spent a lot of time last year working to really develop a rebranding of the organization, to kind of take those other 3 verticals and package them up and kind of go to market and say, hey guys, we've got a lot of really new, exciting things going on down here in Southern Florida. And we use that new branding and that new logo as kind of that, splash.
Yeah, brilliant. Love it. What's the feedback been like since you've done that, and as you've started to really go on this change journey? What's the feedback been, firstly, from the market?
Well, I think the market feedback's been pretty positive. We've had a really good start to this year from a booking standpoint, so we're seeing traction there. It's never as strong as you would like it, but certainly significantly stronger than last year, so I'm pretty excited about that. So the feedback from the market has been very positive. Our internal customers, you might be aware, Andrew, we are completely remodeling or building out really brown space for GBI. So that kind of vertical that I call the technology side, kind of, I affectionately call it our toys. We're essentially building out 3 dedicated or isolated trains, everything from inoculation all the way down through viral clearance. So we've done a lot of work this past better part of a year to really reconstruct our facility. I'm pleased to say that we're back online now in the remodeled portion of the facility. In the next 60 to 90 days, the expanded space is going to be completed, and that brings on board our 2,000 liter. So we're getting a lot of, and I guess long story short, to circle back to your question, we're getting a lot of positive feedback from the marketplace as to kind of the segment that we've targeted and the customers that we're looking to service, and the niche that is often underserved inside the industry itself.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of all the work that's going on, the remodeling, and you alluded to it earlier, the people element, and obviously that's a huge part of the vision for today, but also for the future. So if you are thinking about, if you're thinking about a potential candidate who could be looking at GBI as somewhere where they could ply their trade and pursue a career, what kind of things would you be saying to them about the opportunity that GBI represents?
Sure. Well, I always tell folks that if you like working in a dynamic environment, you're going to love the CDMO space, and you would love working at GBI. And why do I say that? Well, we're another way that I like to express it, Andrew, is we are the tip of the tail of the dog. The decisions are made at the opposite end of the dog, and by the time it gets down to that tip of the tail, it's wagging back and forth, and we're hanging on for dear life. and that analogy comes from the simple realities. As I mentioned earlier, we deal with everything from a couple guys with funding and a great idea, some really interesting science, to big pharma guys, publicly traded companies, even here at GBI. And they come along with different levels of sophistication. But at the end of the day, no matter their level of sophistication, we always are on the outside. No matter how close we are, we hear about things late, and we're chartered with the responsibility to be able to react quickly to meet our customers' needs. So if you really like first and foremost, a dynamic kind of, I call it managed chaos type of an environment, you would love working here. So that's the first thing. If you're somebody that prefers kind of that steady state, I just, it was described to me many years ago. I've had plants all over the world that reported to me, and I had an employee come in and want to catch up one day, and he said, "I don't want to be a pizza maker." And I said, "What?" He says, "Yeah, I don't want to be a pizza maker." And I said, "What are you talking about? We don't make pizzas here." He says, "Well, I come in every day and I just do the same thing." And I said, "Oh, okay, well, except that particular plant had larger commercial operations, right? So there was some repetitive nature of it." So I expressed to him, I said, "Well, we have a training and development program that will allow you to enhance your skills and move into other areas of the business. All you have to do is apply for it or express an interest, and you can do other things. You have to pass proficiency, of course, and so forth." So coming back to your question, I would tell you that I like to hire folks that A, like to work in dynamic, fast-paced environments, B, that want to develop a skill set that's very broad. As a CDMO, our business is constantly changing, or it's fluid, meaning we have different activities going on at any given different point in time.
Yeah.
At the stage that the organization is today, we have 0 pizza makers. Everybody is wearing multiple hats across their skill set inside the organization. So you want people that are comfortable in that, because there are those that prefer a lifestyle that says, "Hey, you know what? I do like coming in and being the pizza maker." So here, that's not our culture. That's not the type of business that we run. So not looking for pizza makers, looking for those guys that both want to develop their skill set. But then, Andrew, as we were describing earlier, we're growing this business at a pretty aggressive rate. So there are opportunities for people to also pick up additional responsibilities, to take steps into management, leadership positions, and really grow with the organization.
Yeah. So as you say, it's you're not necessarily looking for people who are just coming to do a job. They're coming to be part of something, of something that's going on a journey.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Perfect way to express it. We are on a mission.
Yeah. And yeah, come and be part of that.
That's right. Well, the word that I've kind of coined in some of my employee addresses is, we're evolving the organization. It's the GBI evolution. We're not taking the old and getting rid of it. We're not changing, we're evolving. And along with evolution comes change, but it's not change for the sake of change. We're evolving the culture in the organization.
There's so much happening, Darrin, and there's so much going on right now. If you think about the next few months, next 6 months, what are the things that you're most excited about?
Well, we've got a lot of fun things going on. As I mentioned earlier, we've just come out of our remodeling of the historical GBI, or the Goodwin manufacturing facilities, which are now all back recommissioned and operational. We have 2 clients. So I'm happy to say that we have 2 clients that are moving into the BLA filing stage. So we're manufacturing PPQ, or submission batches, for those clients here over the next back half of this year. So it's really an exciting time for us. A lot of the work that we've put in, we're now getting to stress it. Certainly life is never perfect. So you do find some of those gaps that you missed, and we get those corrected quickly, but we're now starting to stress all the systems and the work and things that we've put in place here over the last 6 months to a year, as we're ramping things back up to finish out these BLA submissions here later on this year.
Brilliant. Well, listen, the future is bright. There's no doubt about that. And I think, what we're trying to tell everyone, and what we're telling from the conversations and the spotlights that we're doing with yourself and your colleagues, is getting people from all different parts of the organization to tell the story. And I think one thing's clear, is that the same story comes across. If you want to be part of a journey, you want to be part of a mission, then GBI should be something you look at.
Absolutely. I would encourage anybody that's interested in both developing themselves and really being a part of developing an organization. It takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to grow a company, and we're a smaller organization, and everybody is contributing to the success of our business on a daily basis.
Brilliant. Darrin, listen, thank you so much for giving some time. I know there's a lot going on, but thank you. I know the people watching will appreciate hearing from the CEO. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Darrin.
Thank you, Andrew. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye now.